If there is one moment at every cat show that reveals more than any written rule or standard ever could, it is the moment immediately after the decision has been made. The judge finishes, the result is clear, and within seconds, you can already see the difference. One exhibitor walks away satisfied, another disappointed, and sometimes, unfortunately, someone reacts in a way that has very little to do with cats anymore. Because at that point, it is no longer about the cat. It is about how we behave.
We often think of shows as structured and objective systems. Standards are written, judges are trained, and results should reflect quality in a consistent way. But in reality, it is more complex. A result is never just a technical outcome. It carries expectations, effort, and often a very personal investment. A good result feels like confirmation. A bad one rarely feels neutral, even when we understand it rationally. That reaction is normal. What is not always normal is what follows.
There is a very clear line that should not be crossed, and yet, from time to time, we still see it happen. Direct attacks on judges, raised voices at the table, or disrespectful comments, whether during the show or later on social media, are simply unacceptable. Not because they break a rule, but because they damage the system we all depend on. Every exhibitor has the right to be disappointed. No one has the right to turn that disappointment into public conflict.
One of the most important things to understand, and perhaps the most difficult to accept, is that judging is not and never will be completely objective. Standards exist, judges are trained, but standards are interpreted, and interpretation always includes a degree of subjectivity. Two experienced judges can look at the same group of cats and come to different conclusions, not because one is right and the other is wrong, but because they prioritize different details or see the balance differently on that particular day. This is also why the same cat can win one day and not the next. And that is completely normal. Fair judging does not mean identical decisions. It means decisions made with knowledge, consistency, and integrity.
Another common misunderstanding comes from the difference between table judging and final decisions, such as best in show. At the table, a cat is evaluated in detail. Strengths are explained, qualities are highlighted, and the assessment is often very precise. But best in show is a different moment. It is no longer only about technical evaluation. Presence, overall impression, and condition on that specific day all play a role. This is why a cat can be highly praised at the table and still not be selected later. That is not a contradiction. It is simply a different type of evaluation.
There is, however, one point that must remain clear. Judges are there to judge cats, not people. In most cases, this is exactly what happens, but perception matters. The moment exhibitors feel that they are being judged instead of their cats, trust begins to weaken. And without trust, no system can function properly. For breeders especially, shows are more than titles. They are visibility. They are where your work is seen, where your cats are evaluated, and where future kitten owners first notice you. Being present matters. Being consistent matters. Being professional matters. Because in the long run, people do not remember a single result. They remember behavior. Disappointment is part of the system, and it should be. No serious competition exists without both satisfaction and disappointment. Both are necessary. Both are part of the learning process. A system where everyone always feels satisfied would not be credible, and a system where disappointment cannot be handled constructively will eventually break. At the end of the day, the moment after the decision remains one of the most revealing parts of any show. It shows how we deal with success, but even more importantly, how we deal with not getting the result we wanted. Winning will always matter, but the way we behave when we do not win often matters more. Because the future of the cat fancy will not be shaped only by the cats that win. It will be shaped by the people who stand next to them, especially in the moments when they don't.